Aye.
Against? Thank you. Right, item 11, changes to who let the dogs out, to local dog access rules. Right. Paul, g'day. Good to see you. And
Morning.
Mike.
Justin.
Justin. Well done. Okay, Paul. Callum, this is you. Anything you want to start off
I
with?
just want to say, Your Worship, that as you know, in 211, we had a very, very good response by the ratepayers, those 100,000 plus dog owners across Auckland, responding to the new bylaws for dogs, as you well know. They loved them, absolutely. 212, we were asked by the local boards. They wanted delegated authority to change some of the access rules to the beaches. It started off, as we said, with Hibiscus Bays and I think Waiheke Island, or the two of them. It went on to about 4 boards. We signed off last year. This year we've done 10, and as you well know, in September we signed off 9 of them, excluding Albert Eden. Just had to have a couple of things tidied up. So this is purposely why we're here today. So it's pretty much straightforward. And as you say, Paul's here, loving to answer any questions. He just can't wait. So that's where we are, Mr. Chair. Happy to move it.
Councillor Linda.
I'll second.
Yep, that's good. Got that.
Thank you. Just in terms of the when you definition of the summer period, why would you have Labour weekend at one end and 31st of March at the end? Either dates at either end, or I guess landmark kind of weekends like Easter, Labour weekend, because we kind of seem, I think Aucklanders kind of define summer as, probably not quite rightly, but Labour weekend to Easter. So
Easter moves quite a lot, doesn't it?
well, I know, but it does move. But so does Labour weekend. Is that why?
Yeah, so through the chair, that was the reason why Easter was so movable. Like for the next few years, I believe it occurs in March at various stages, and then it starts to occur in April. Sometimes it goes quite late in April as well. So it was decided at a fixed date. But the principle that you alluded to, that people define summer either as daylight savings or between the key holiday periods, which is Labour weekend and Easter, that's true as well. So it was a bit of a compromise between the two.
So there's going to be inconsistency now.
There is anyway.
No, well, I mean more because you've got one local board with East. So that's my, I mean, that's, I suppose that's my thrust of all of this is dog owners don't live their lives like I'm in this local board area now, oh, now I'm in another local. They probably don't even know where the boundaries are. No? Some of them still think the MPs get voted for at council, you know, council elections. So I think, you know, it's a shame they do. Tell you what, they go, yep.
Right. Yep.
So,
You are right.
yeah, when you're campaigning, they go, you're going to get rid of that MP, are you? You go, no. So I think for me, I'm still, I mean, it's done now, but it's still around inconsistency in the dog community. You've been very vocal about inconsistencies across the region, though, you know, local boards want to do their own thing. The general public find it really difficult to interpret what they're supposed to do and where. So I just think it's a missed opportunity. And I know Councillor Casey was quite sort of disappointed that it was closing down opportunities rather than opening up, because that wasn't her intent at the time. So it's just my comment, I guess, Mr. Chairman. Bit disappointing that we've lost consistency for people across the region, which this whole legislation was supposed to give us consistency.
So, Your Worship, if I just may, I'll forget to fail to say one thing. I'd be remiss if I didn't say it, because the last 12 months I have been saying it. There has been a dog's breakfast because of what Councillor Cooper's saying. In the next 12 months, it's going to be a challenge for all Aucklanders that have dogs as to where in the times they can go across the region. So it's going to be a challenge. We'll watch with interest.
Yes, the rolling out of the amalgamation is and could never be perfect, and we're always going to be challenged with the sensitivity of the community to their dogs. Councillor Cathy, you want to speak?
Yeah, it was just that, as part of the dog panel, which Callum was also on,
the reason this function was delegated to local boards was to increase the off-leash dog access across the region. And a report is coming back after, can you just remind me when we're getting the report to look at, you know, the helicopter approach to all of this?
So through the chair, I'm not too sure when the exact date will be, but there certainly is something in consideration. I'm just not able to say, I'm afraid.
But we are, that's something that would be of concern to me if, as Councillor Cooper says, is right, that we've reduced the amount. That was not the intention of the dog panel, and I don't know if that's true.
So through the chair, I can certainly say that the opposite has occurred. So certainly back in 2012, the clear intention of the panel and the governing body was to provide more opportunities for off-leash dog access. That has occurred, just not to the extent that the panel was suggesting that the boards consider in terms of the standard times and the seasons. But there has been greater off-leash opportunities. So to give you some examples, well, Albert Eden has done just that with its decisions, even though it's not strictly consistent. But in all the other 9 boards as well, there's also been greater off-leash opportunities, and not just in terms of time and season. They've created more off-leash at all times beaches as well. Certainly they're not the most popular beaches for obvious reasons. But yes, so in general, there has been an increase in opportunities for off-leash dog access across the board for every board that's done their review.
Right. Councillor Penn.
Yes, can I echo Councillor Cooper and Councillor Penrose and Councillor Casey's concerns with this. I feel very sorry for the animal control officers this summer, because not only have we got local board by local board, we've got East Coast, West Coast and various beaches. We have had to spend an awful lot of money putting up temporary corflute signs to reflect what. How much was it?
500 signs.
Yes, 500 signs to reflect the differences throughout Auckland. And if we go back to some of Rodney Hyde's speeches on amalgamation, he would say, well, for example, dogs cannot be walked on various beaches at various times in Auckland. So the people who live in Remuera go up to Omaha and they can't walk their dogs on the beach the same as they can down south, and various issues like this. This is a complete disaster, I think, and really I'm really concerned that this summer we're going to have dog control officers called out at all times. We've already had some very difficult issues, as you will know, in my area about this, with some pretty nasty things happening between the public and dog owners, so just watch this space.
Well, that's a very positive discussion that we've just had.
I'm sorry, it's
Yeah,
reality.
all delighted to move and accept this recommendation. Okay, well, everyone is...
Mr Mayor,
as-
even if we'd done Labour weekend to Easter, it would have been some consistency.
But Penny, we gave it away.
That's right.
I know we did. I didn't.
Right, now, the reason, that's right, the horse or the dog has bolted. These are the challenges in how we deal with delegations between the governing body and trying to crystallise and clarify the benefits of amalgamation and the local boards. And if the local boards have the right, then they will make a decision that will be contrary to a local board next door. And that is the reason why the work that Phil's going to do now around the issue of who can and not make submissions in legal cases is a critical constitutional issue. And those types of things, if we can sort of resolve one or two of those things outstanding to the back end of next year for the 3rd term, we would have done a good job in finally settling the most part of the amalgamation. But things like this just highlight to us times when we want to be really generous to the local boards, sometimes we're cutting off our nose to spite our face. So, with all those very positive thoughts in mind, I'm going to move those recommendations. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Thank you.